President Cyril Ramaphosa returning to the State Capture Commission of Inquiry's witness stand this morning for the second installment of testimony that actually began in April. In his last testimony, he told the Commission Chair, Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, that state capture had divided the governing party, with former President Jacob Zuma unlikely to testify again. Will Ramaphosa take some kind of responsibility for failing to halt the looting of state resources? For perspective, let's bring in political analyst Ongama Mtimka, who's been patient with us. Thanks very much indeed, Ongama, joining us via our video link this morning. I wonder if you also buy into, I guess, what is a narrative gaining traction, that there will be some kind of political culpability this time around because of A, the reaction to the president's initial testimony, and B, the position he finds himself within the ANC now versus when he actually appeared in April.
The culpability of the ANC, in my view, is not a matter that either of the ANC politicians can confirm. We know, as a matter of fact, that they were very much behind former President Jacob Zuma and defended him in the 9 motions of confidence that he faced in Parliament. They were with him in defending against the right action Parliament should have taken in Gandla, among other things. So it's been there for all of us to see. I agree with you, Ayanda, that the extent to which that is evident in the or admitted is something else. That's what we want to see. The extent to which the leaders of the party admit to what we know was in fact the case. So we'll see today how that goes. Both the president and former minister, and Minister Gwede Mantashe, the last time, what they did was to confirm the issue, for example, around the issue of the deployment of committee, that in fact the party even subjects processes of government to its own decision-making processes. So again, that's another thing which has already come out in the open that confirms the culpability of the party in state capture.
Right. You speak about ANC leaders in some respects and the ways through which they responded to widespread reports of corruption within government. How much should we care about who actually arrives in support of the president today? In April, during Ramaphosa's first appearance, we saw Jesse Duarte, Gwede Mantashe, Lindiwe Sisulu, Paul Mashatile as well, and all kinds of things were said about what to make of that. How much attention do you reckon we should give to who actually rocks up today?
Well, consciously within the ANC, I think the attempt is made to use the spectacle to sort of convey messages other than what is going to be said. That there's a lot more people from the various factions who actually are here to support the president, so that the perceptions of selling out are being managed. So the ANC itself pays due attention to that spectacle, and I suspect that even today there will be attempts to try and bring in a diverse range of leaders to show that this is not just President Cyril Ramaphosa or a factional agenda, but of the party. So it will be interesting because who's present and absent does convey that message.
Absolutely. It was Matela Koko during one of his testimonies, one of these many testimonies, dare I say, in the months gone by at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. He, as we know, a former Eskom boss, saying that he wanted to know why Ramaphosa interfered in the affairs of Eskom by instructing the board of Eskom that was yet to meet to actually dismiss him. I'm using that as a springboard to ask how much work you think Ramaphosa will have to do to remove the stench of the perception that he interfered with the board at Eskom, given the role that he used to play.
The commission should take Matela Koko's evidence in good faith, and in fact must make it a point that they make President Cyril Ramaphosa work hard to dispel the notion they have unduly influenced things at Eskom, such as instructing for the firing of Machela Koko because he stood in the way of his own shareholding, even though at the time he would not have been directly involved. The suggestion Machela Koko is making is that he instructed the soon-to-be appointed board to remove him pursuant to the fact that they needed to punish him for not getting the optimum coal deal. So it's an important one where the commission itself must actually follow through on those questions. I didn't quite like their stance the last time. In fact, on the first day, I think on the second day they were better, where they just took questions as answers from the president without the follow-through and without the necessary questioning that made Jacob Zuma uncomfortable. I think that they must actually embrace that approach too and cross-question. They can't take questions like, for example, we didn't know or we were disempowered to act without actually digging further in order to determine the exact nature of those limitations which the president will highlight.
Absolutely. A lot of conversation following Ramaphosa's appearance in April was centered around this concept of cadre deployment. How much of a sticky issue do you reckon is going to be this time around?
For me, it's one thing to deal with the contents of what is being presented before them. It's another to analytically draw from broader principles in the Constitution and the laws of the Republic to question the president. So one of the things, for example, they mentioned, and they were let off the hook for saying this, was how a process which is started at the level of the party is briefed, that's fine. Then an advert goes out and a recruitment process it proceeds. And then something I took exception to, which was both in President Cyril Ramaphosa and former Minister and Minister Gwede Mantashe's presentation, was that the outcome of that open recruitment process at the end is being subjected to the party political process, which is something we should have frowned upon, which the commission should have frowned upon, that the culmination of a state-led process is an ANC decision-making. That should never have been something which the party leaders felt comfortable to even say in public, because the suggestion is that public processes, which by law ought to be transparent and open, are given to the ANC on a silver platter to influence, and that's not right.
Absolutely. Well, there's plenty still to unpack, and I have no doubt we'll do that with you throughout the course of the testimony itself and, of course, the days that follow. For now, let me thank you for your time. Ongama Mtimka is a political analyst. Ongama, always great chatting to you, sir.